The next day, he called me to politely invite me over for tea. I accepted, curious about the coincidence. Indeed, we were neighbors. Their new apartment was a few minutes' walk from mine, behind Pasdaran Avenue. When I arrived, I immediately noticed that two large sofas had replaced the traditional floor cushions. There was even a wooden table in the dining room. The decor was modern, more colorful, nothing like the austere ambiance of their former home. In the bedroom, which could be seen from the hallway, the large tiles depicting the two supreme leaders had disappeared from the wall. My look of surprise didn't escape Mahmoud. "It's the Fatma touch," he said, with a grimace, seeming to signify that this new layout wasn't in keeping with his taste. "Do you like it?" A feminine voice followed. I turned around. Head wrapped in a towel, Fatma had just emerged from the bathroom, trailing a sweet, musky odor in her wake. Nonchalantly, she threw the towel on the sofa, revealing a new haircut, shorter and streaked with highlights. She was squeezed into a black t-shirt, and her silhouette was narrower. The loss of a few pounds suited her marvelously. What a transformation!" I replied, hesitating to compliment her on all these changes. Mahmoud was quiet. His silence betrayed some discomfort, as if the emancipation of his wife damaged the image he wanted to project of their relationship. "Praise God she still wears the black chador when she goes out in the street," he interjected to save face. Then he quickly changed the subject. "So, what's new with you?" I didn't really know how to respond. I was still wondering why he had invited me over, what he really wanted from me. At moments like this, my paranoia came back at a gallop. I decided to keep quiet about my problems with the press pass. "Well, I'm married now, too," I announced, to divert their attention. "To a French guy?" Fatma asked eagerly. "No, an Iranian." "Mubarak, congratulations," Mahmoud exclaimed with an approving look. He, the nationalist, the living martyr, the fierce supporter of a homeland he worshipped to the extreme, was smiling again, probably proud deep down to see that Iran had rubbed off on the heart of such a Westerner. When I told him that Barzou was stationed in Baghdad, a new spark lit up his gaze. "Ah, Iraq," he said in a dreamy tone. Iraq. That country he had been too young to fight against continued to haunt him. He confided in me that since the American intervention, he hadn't missed a single event. Like many Iranians, he had welcomed the fall of Saddam, a lifelong enemy, with relief. But the prolonged presence of the United States in the neighboring country worried him. For him, there was a hidden Manichaean plan to occupy the entire region. Convinced that Iran was the next target in this Western crusade, he said he was ready to take up arms if need be. That war would finally be his war, his generation's, the war he had been awaiting for so long. Furthermore, he confided in me that the Basajis had resumed their military training, which had been less frequent in the past few years. In a big suburb of Tehran, they were wielding Kalashnikovs again, readying themselves for a lopsided war. He found it necessary to prepare for the worst. "And you?" he asked me. "You've lived in Iraq. What do you think of all this? What kinds of weapons are the GIs using? Is their firepower as invincible as they claim? In fact, would you be generous enough to share some photos you took there?" His questions immediately took me back to Mr. Fingers. Was this a hunt for military information? At the behest of the intelligence service? Or legitimate questions from a half-Shahid obsessed with everything to do with war? His curiosity made me uneasy. I had to change the topic. To the coming presidential election, for example, Khatami was nearing the end of his second term. The names of the candidates to succeed him were starting to circulate. Mustafa Moin, the former education minister who had resigned after the repression of protests in 1999. Ali Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani, the pragmatic conservative, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, a former Revolutionary Guard now tempted by politics.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.